Hey guys, it's JJ here, coming at you with a review. And it's a camera that I've owned for about a year now, so I feel pretty comfortable talking about it and the pros and cons of having it. It's a little half frame film camera, and if you guys don't know what half frame means, it means that it can take a 36 count film roll and turn it into 72 by effectively having the amount of film that it uses at a time. So you can get, around 70 to 74 APS-C sized negatives out of your film. And the camera that I have to show you guys today is the Canon Demi C. And I don't hear too much about this camera, mostly because people talk about its big brother, which is the Canon Demi EE17. But effectively, the lenses are slightly different, but this one it's a gem. It's really pretty and it works. I love it. And so I bought this with the intent of shooting a lot of film over summer vacation last year, and I did. I shot a lot of rolls through this, but it was so difficult to actually get through the rolls because you effectively have 70 shots per roll of 36, 36 roll frames or 36 roll films, right? So I can take you through the specs of the camera. So let's start with the lens. The lens that we have on here is the, I believe, 40 millimeter equivalent on 35 millimeter cameras. That's the lens that's on here. There's two versions of this lens. One is the 90 millimeter and one is the 40 millimeter. Now, this camera has the lens can be removable, but I don't trust it to remove on mine, mostly because this camera's from like the 1970s or so, and so I was very hesitant to pick it up because I was going to pick it up with the intent of using it. So let's take you through some more features here. There's some film in here, so I can't really open up the back, but I do know that there's very minimal light leaks, which I'm happy about. That was one of my concerns when I first picked up the camera. The tripod mount is off to the right hand side, and I have my video reverse, but it's off on the right, and I don't really use it. This is supposed to be in your hands. Like you don't set up shots with this thing. You grab it and go. And so to that end, they've made this very user friendly for people that don't really take technically sound photos, what that might mean to you. So the shutter speed is on a sliding scale, and you go from bulb mode to 1/30th of a second to about 1/250th of a second. And likewise, it also changes the aperture, really, because you can't really change the aperture on this thing without changing also the shutter speed. So if you're shooting at 1/250th, you're also closing the aperture by a bunch, which is cool because it means you have one setting that you have to pay attention to. Really, when you're doing this exposure. However, the focus is you have scale focusing, so it goes from big head to small family to a mountain, and those are close distance, medium, right, or like 6 feet or so, and then like 12 feet and beyond is the mountain. But that's pretty common for a lot of scale focus cameras. You don't take this with the intent of getting those bokeh shots, because there isn't really bokeh on this thing. All of the aperture numbers are too high anyways. So yeah, you could I believe add a flash to this. There is a PL sorry, not a PL, a PC sync cable, but I don't think mine works anymore. However, I do think the meter works a little bit, and it works by the sun. So this one's it kind of just takes in the I guess light from outside and gives you a guess, right? I've never really dialed it in using that. I've kind of just guessed with the shutter speed. So if I'm indoors, it's 30. If I'm outdoors in broad daylight, it's 250, 1/250th of a second. And then anywhere in between is a sliding scale. Usually I keep it on the small family for my focus, because that's most of my pictures. And a lot of people use this for what they call diptychs, which is putting two photos together, two or more photos together, and trying to relate them to each other. I don't really do that. I use it to spam film photos, and the quality is actually really great. And so I'm going to drop some examples down below now, and kind of just walk you through it. Yeah, there's not too much else to this camera. Shutter's nice and snappy. It gives you that little ting sound when right there's your shutter sound. And I have some film in here. I didn't really care to waste shots. I have 70 of them. I'm on like shot 9. So again, this is economical for that reason alone. Scanning it though, I haven't taken any of my film to a scanner. I've just been doing it at home because I've been doing black and white monobaths. So I think they're gonna have some trouble if you take it to a 1 hour, if you have a 1 hour around you, or if you send in your rolls. I think you have to at least be very specific about what you're sending them. It's like, hey, I've got some half frames coming in. Can you cut it to length? And I usually scan about 10 or so at a time, which is roughly equal to about 5 shots of a 36 roll. And then I have to crop them manually, especially on my Epson scanner. So, because it can't see the borders. So that's one con of this thing. And yeah, no flash mount. So that's kind of awkward if you're trying to shoot this at night. I wouldn't suggest bringing this out to shoot at night. But beyond that, a real gem of a camera again. And yeah, even though there's been no CLI, it still works. Still very clean photos. Albeit a bit of a workaround to process. But yeah, here's the Canon Demi C. Let me know what you think.